So yeah, so today's show is going to be a little different. There's me and then there's me, depending on which me you think is the real me. But we're going to be using a new AI product called SmartMix Director AI to switch the video based on the microphone. Yeah, based on the audio source. And we'll play with some live. And then I've also got a new little toy back here that I want to show you too. That's going to be fun. So we'll get right to that and be back for the show momentarily. Don't go away. Okay. All right. We'll see how. Oh, see. Let's try something here. Don't go away. Audio source is bus A. Check 1, 2. That's down. Okay. So actually they were. If you say there's an echo, that means you hear two sources. I mean, you hear audio twice. But if you hear two echoes, does that mean you hear audio 3 times or 4 times? Welcome, John. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Rick. Actually, Rick nailed it. I thought I was. We'll get there. We'll get there. Hold on. Let's start here. So in the kind of the warm up, you know how YouTube does is if you are looking at something in YouTube and you hover over it, it gives you the first, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds of whatever it is, so people can see if they're interested. At least that's how I use it. But I've tried to start doing a kind of a little snippet at the very beginning, because this is live. I mean, I can't go back and edit it and put that back at the beginning. So, but I know what the show's going to be about. At least I think I do. You may doubt it. But the idea is that if you hover over it, you have a chance to see what it is, and you say, oh, I'm not interested in that, or yeah, I'd like to watch that later, or yeah, I want to watch that right now. I mean, this is in the replay, you know, the YouTube archive, which is frankly where most of the views of this show come from. I mean, how many folks do we have watching today? We've got watching 200 or 300, or is that 2,000 or 3,000? Or is that a dozen? Anyway, it's a number, whatever the number is. So, do you have one echo or two echoes? And is 2 echoes 3 sounds? Because 1 echo is 2 sounds. Anyway, I had 3 echoes. You heard 1. I heard 1. They were different ones. Because I wasn't hearing what you were hearing, because I'm not monitoring the stream, except I've got a vMix call that I'm using in today's broadcast that's open, and it's on my phone in front of me. I'm looking at it right now. And I was hearing that. You were hearing the other echo, which is the audio coming from that camera, from that microphone, from the vMix call on my cell phone. So yeah. So I thought I fixed it by turning it down so that it wasn't echoing back through my mic. But then Rick said, he nailed it. Sounds like you have both the main switched in, the audio switched in the same program. Yeah. So we're only going to use one of those. Well, let me take that back. We're going to use more than one, but I'll explain it to you later. You are not late. You are on time, and you get 3 extra points for that. 3 extra points. Tim, if it feels like that for you, think how it must be for me. I mean, you're only hearing the thoughts that come out. You don't hear the ones that are bouncing around. Oh my gosh. That's just too fun. Welcome, Jono. Welcome, Otis. Oh, it's Anderson. There we go. More than one watching. More that one watching. Translate. Actually, Otis, that's a great question. The answer is, from my perspective, neither. It's not an echo, and it appears to you as an echo, but from my standpoint, it's not an echo. Well, I guess it is an echo, but it's not a delay. It's definitely not a delay. But It's two audio sources being active at the same time, both of which are me, but from two separate sources. That's the thing. That's the thing. So Rick was the one that had it. We do miss the official streaming idiots. Oh, the dum-dums. Yes, yes. Ken hadn't sent me any dum-dums in a while. I might have to bring some. Oh, okay. Rick was saying more than one watching. Number of viewers. Yes, yes. Thank you, Rick. You have solved the mystery. The mystery of, I do the same thing. I'm just typing and I hit return and I'm like, oh, there's a typo. I didn't mean to do that. Too late. Can't go back and edit it as I can with my emails. Fortunately, I've forced a habit to go back, to type an email and then go back and read it through critically. Is this what I want to say? Is everything spelled right? Sometimes I have a tendency, tell me if this happens to you. I know what I say, and so I sort of put the conclusion of what I want to say at the very beginning, and then I go to explain it. And I'm like, no. That's the way I think, but that's probably not the easiest way for somebody to read it. The easiest way to read it is to start at the beginning and end up with the conclusion. So yeah. Why is that relevant? Go ahead. It's not. Number of viewers. Absolutely. So today, for those of you that were around last week or watched last week, thank you for that. That was a fun trek. I need to adjust my chair. I think I've got a cylinder that is losing pressure as the day goes on. Either that or I'm slumping. You know, it's funny. I was talking with somebody the other day. It was somebody that called me and they said, so when are you coming out with a new version of vMix? And I was like, whoa, hold on a second. I realized the confusion. Last name Sinclair. Martin Sinclair, Tom Sinclair. Not brothers, not the same person. And, but I'm attached to vMix at the hip. There's no question about it. It is the secret sauce that makes my business, Eastern Shore Broadcasting. It makes it run. I mean, you know, I'm designing and building PCs and including vMix and prepping them perfectly for vMix. It's funny, I get calls all the time. Oh, you know, tech support calls, not from my customers, just from people that find me on the vMix website, which is fine. I encourage that. And they say, this is, you know, when this is not working, that's not working, that's not working. I said, okay, what you need, you know, where'd you get the PC? Oh, well, I got the PC from XYZ, you know, Amazon, Walmart, Sam's Club, whatever, Costco. I said, well, is it configured for vMix? Long pause. Some people will say, I don't know what you mean. Other people will say no. And occasionally people will say yes. I know the answer is really the same all the way through. No, it's not really configured for vMix. But if you configure it for vMix, it really does make a lot of difference. Just getting the basics right. Yeah. So Otis wants to know, what's new in .39? Well, what's new in .39? Hang on, we'll update the scroll for what's new in 39 because there's not much new in 39. But let's just have fun with it. We'll go to the changelog, which is part of the forum on vMix. And this is what is in .39. There we go, right there, right there, right there. And that's it, right there. Crazy, crazy. Crazy, crazy. Otis, that's as good as it gets, my friend. That's as good as it gets, my friend. Are you part of the Sinclair Broadcasting family? No. I'm the more successful wing of the family. I'm the wing that doesn't worry about stuff. Yeah. No, it's funny because occasionally I'll get letters or emails from people thinking that I am. What was it I got? Somebody sent me a tweet or a Facebook message or something threatening me with violence because they didn't like something that the Sinclair Broadcasting Company Corporation had done. And they said, we're going to put you out of business. And I said, you can try, but you don't even know who I am. Oh boy, that was funny. That was funny. Okay, let's start a show, huh? That's right. Bill says part of a Sinclair Broadcasting family. Actually, the is probably correct. The others are just imitators. They haven't gotten there yet. Ready? Here we go. Oh, sorry. Taking a little 5-second cat nap there. So today, excited about today's show. It's going to be a little bit of this and a little bit of that, or really a lot of this and a lot of that. We'll see how it turns out. I've got two things I want to talk about. One is what was in the headline. The software is called SmartMix Director AI, and it's the third piece of software out there that will switch vMix inputs, switch them live based on audio. The first one was written, I guess, maybe 8 years ago, 10 years ago, something like that. And probably 8, maybe 7. Anyway, the guy lived overseas in Europe somewhere. It was a tricky little software to work with. You had to have kind of a helper software with it to help interpret. It never ran really, really well, but it could be kind of tweaked to use and worked. And we sold it and we supported it. And then the guy stopped returning my emails. Like, okay, what did I do wrong? And turned out later, I found out that he had died. So that just, that ended that software. And then a couple of years ago, a guy that works with the radio stations down in New Zealand came up with an automatic switching software for vMix. And I think we reviewed it maybe a year or so ago, and still going, still good stuff. And was kind of, it was what I call happy software. It wasn't super technical. It wasn't like, how quickly do you want the AI to react to a change in audio before you switch cameras, in order to switch cameras? And it would say things like, a crack baby, a teenager, an 80-year-old guy, obviously quick, not quite as quick, very not quick kind of thing. And they had about 5 or 6 choices. And that was kind of fun. Didn't really know what it meant, but I'm sure buried somewhere in there, it actually told you what the spec was. This stuff, SmartMix Director AI, it's not happy in the sense that it's got all those kind of little Easter eggs in it. It's just pragmatic. I can't tell where they're from. Their website is, I'll put it in the chat. Let's see where we got it here. And I'll also add it to the show notes in case somebody's interested. Chat, where's the chat? Here's the chat. There you go. And it's not even a purchased URL. It's just a sort of a free or low paid way to design a website. Actually, probably not a bad idea from one who's struggling with his website. And the email address to contact is a Gmail address. So it's sort of a budget operation, probably a side gig. But the software is pretty cool. And that, I wanted to kind of preface it with that, but also say software looks good. Let's see, somewhere I've got a screenshot of what the software looks like. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, and that is it right there. And let me turn the sharp on for that. Sharpen, there we go. And so you can see at the very top you've got the vMix stuff, and we auto connect with vMix, and then down in kind of the guts of it where you can see the motion, we've got two mics. One is my Hollyland mic, which is the one here on my lapel, on my shirt collar actually, and the other one is on my cell phone, which I'm using as a vMix call. And let's see, let me pull this up so I can get my mouse in there. Yeah, there we go. And so the Hollyland mic will cause a switch to what I call the main shot. And this is the main shot. The mic number 2 is a vMix call, which will switch to the vMix call. And this is the vMix call. So I'm looking not at the camera. This is me looking at the camera. This is me looking at the call. So there's a little bit of difference. And the color is not exactly the same. Obviously, the lighting is different because it's a different view of the same shot. But that's not the point. The point is that at some point, one of these audios becomes dominant and it cuts to that shot. Now, in my case, the vMix call mic is right there and the Hollyland mic is right here. So I might have to mute one of them in order to have the other one make the switch. And I've set up, where is it? I've set up a really nice little thing. Oh yeah, here it is. There we go. And so that kind of shows everything at once, shows both callers and both of their audio. And am I doing that? Let's see if we can do that one with a little sharpen too. Oh, it already is sharpened. Okay, there we go. We're good. All right, normally I'd have lower thirds here, but I'm the same person either way. So, what do you say? What do you say? So let's try it, shall we? So we'll go to, that's the other thing is right now, that mic is muted in vMix. The vMix call mic is muted in vMix. In fact, it is not even being sent to the master. But as you can see right here, this software is still seeing that mic. So that mic is I guess it's picking up the pre-fader effect of it. So what do we have to do? We may just have to physically cover a mic. Let's try it. I'm going to physically cover this mic, and let's see if, and here's the other thing I have to do. Down here, see, I just played with this for the first time today, but I'm learning it with you. Down here is the start button. So we're going to hit the start button, and then I'm going to cover up my lapel mic. Actually, I'm going to cover it up like this. That may not be enough. We'll see. And I will speak into the mic. Can you mute a mic on here? It doesn't look like you can. No, we'll play with some of that later maybe. Okay, so we're going to start. So we started. Now we're on. vMix call mic. There we go. Now we're on the vMix call mic. Oh, it heard audio through my chest, no doubt. And we'll see if we can cover up the vMix call mic a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So, so I guess there was too much noise there. But you can see it's a pretty fast cut. And it doesn't know what to do with silence. Oh, that's what I can do. I could turn my head like this, and the cell phone mic is not going to pick up or be dominant, unless it is dominant. And then it is what it is. Yeah. Okay. You get the idea. It doesn't work very well with one person, but I think it's pretty effective, and it looks pretty simple to use. I won't turn it off for just a second. Otherwise, we're going to be switching all over the place. It also has the ability to do a wide shot, which I've picked out as, I accidentally turned it on. Sorry about that. Let's go back here. It has a wide shot right down here at the bottom that you can use. And that would be, actually, that's this shot right now. So I can cut. I can use this as a switcher. I can switch here. I can switch here. I can switch here. And number 19, this one right here, is not actually part of the program. So yeah, I forgot I had that shot right here. This shot right here would be the shot that we would use in an interview where there was a pause, or where I intentionally, I mean, this is me as an interviewer, where I would intentionally want both of us on the screen. So I probably wouldn't use this software because I'm comfortable choosing when to cut. But if it were a roundtable discussion or something like that, if we had, say, maybe 3 or 4 vMix callers, I would definitely use this. I would definitely use this. We do have the ability to go in and tweak some things. The individual contribution threshold, which obviously is why mine was switching so quickly. The multi-speaker threshold, and that's going to be when 2 people are talking at the same time. Oops. Okay, so here's the manual settings. And yeah, we're going to have to tweak this. We're going to have to learn this. Reset manual settings now. Let's turn that off. Actually, let's turn it on and go back and reset them, because I think we changed some of them. Yep, there we go. And we'll turn them off. So we could do auto learning. Let's try that. See what happens with auto learning. So I'm going to turn away, and that's just going to be me. And then we'll come back to me, and back to me, and back to me, and back to me. Wonder what learning did for that. We'll see. We will see. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. That's SmartMix Director AI. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. I'll send them an email and see what they have to say. Oh, let's bring up their website. There we go. So there's their website. The smartest way to automate live video production. There you go. And I think it works with other things besides vMix. There is a free 7-day trial, which is what I'm using right now. The free edition, full edition, free for 1 week. And then there's a permanent license of $119 US, which is the light version, limited to 2 microphones, perfect for small setups. And then there's the standard edition for $250, again, permanent license. And then you can upgrade from this one to that one. You pay a little bit more. Looks like it's going to be $270 instead of $249 or $250. Limit of 24 microphones. Yeah, looks pretty cool. All right, so that's the pricing. Here's the contact information, the Gmail address, or you can put in a message here. You can get updates, and it tells you, here's version 1.0.8, and we'll go all the way down to the bottom, and that was 1.0.0. That was May of this year. June of this year, we introduced .6, July .7, and September .8. So it's a new product, obviously. And yeah. And they got a little video here. That's a cool little video. I think I watched that one. Yep. So give it a try. If you have a good experience with it, let me know. If you've gotten really good at it, come on the show and we'll use it. It might be fun. Might be fun. It would be fun. It would be fun. All right, let's go. Let's turn our attention to behind me. And I'm actually going to roll over there and pick it up. Because this little guy is super cool. I actually took a lot of pictures of the inside before the show, and then I forgot to upload them to the show PC. So there's that. Maybe we can use the vMix call. Oh yeah, we'll use that. Okay. So we'll use the vMix call, which currently is showing you that. And would that show anything? Yeah. Yeah, let's find that one and make it live. So that's live. It's really reflective, as you can see. But we'll see if we can't get in there and see some of the stuff. It's got, yeah, you're just going to see reflections, sorry. Well, I don't know if you can see the 2 fans anywhere. Anyway, it's got a double fan liquid cooler. That would be a 240 millimeter. Oops, excuse me. This one is set up with an i7, but it could do an i9 if you wanted to use it like for NDI and stuff. The business end of it right now is just set up with a 3050 graphics card, but we could put, could we put something bigger in there? Let's see. What can you see from that? There's the card. Yeah, there might be room. Oh, there might be room for something bigger. I'll have to test that. But back here, we have, this is obviously a micro board. So we've got the 2 slots here for the graphics card. This slot is an X1, and this one is an X4. So that means we can really do equivalent, I'd say, hold on, I didn't even show you all this stuff. Let's go back here. So there's a graphics card, those 2 slots, and then this is an X1 and this is an X4. So that's going to give you the ability to have, 4 cameras in, 1 camera out, one video out, or an SDI Decklink Duo 2, which would give you, 4 ins or outs, plus the other that could be an in or an out, depending on how you looked at it. If you equip this with an i9, it could do be an NDI PC. Currently, it's just set up with a pretty basic backplate, nothing fancy there. I've blocked off the video monitor ports because those are really being used by the capture card. See if we can do this one again, where we kind of go into it. There's the capture card. There's the cooler. There are the two radiators. The power supply is an interesting little beast. It sits up in a way that you normally don't see power supplies sit. Yeah, you really. Oh, you know what we could do? We could take the top off this thing. Hold on a second. Let's just take the top off. We have the technology, and it belongs to us, so we can do that. Okay. For those of you in the chat that are saying, "Hey, Tom, all we see is you," I say, count your blessings. Count your blessings. Have fun. All right. Whoops, we dropped a screw. We'll have to go find that later. Always a dangerous proposition. But what we're going to do is we're going to take off this side plate. Ta-da! Hopefully not drop it like we did the screw. And then we can take the camera and let's merge into that. There we go. Now we can see without a reflection. So you can see we've got two fans up top, liquid cooling. This is actually the pump right here. How about that? That's cool. And then of course the graphics card. And then under here it's a teeny little thing, but it's 850 watt power supply. And then USB connectors, USB 3, USB 2. It's got the audio on the back plate here, so it doesn't have any place to plug in a microphone on the front, but you're probably not going to be using it like this. Anyway, this is what the front looks like. Boom, there you go. So power on and off, USB-C, USB 3. It's really a cool little guy. The legs here would be if you wanted to obviously mount it sitting up, but it also has legs here. So if you wanted to sit it down like it was a desktop, like it was a rack mount or something, you could. But my favorite feature, and I think everybody's favorite feature is, hold on, get it up there, ta-da, is the handle. Now, it's not a big deal to have a PC with a handle, but not a lot of them do. And this guy, I'm picking it up while seated. And I'd say that's probably, what, 20 pounds? Maybe more, maybe less. Somewhere in that neighborhood. So it's portable. Ta-da! And I'm no strong man. And it's small, and I bet it would fit in one of those rolling cases with a monitor, keyboard, and mouse, and maybe other gear too, portable router, something like that. But we're going to be building this in a 4 HDMI in configuration, a 4 SDI in, which would also be SDI outs. And then if you wanted to add a capture card or an output card, you could do that. I think heat-wise, it's going to stay ice cold. Well, maybe not ice cold, but cool enough. And we can try an upgrade of the video card. It doesn't require what do you call those, low-profile cards. It doesn't require one of those. So we could put, this is a 3050. I could try a 5060 Ti in here. I bet there's room for that. Don't think I could put my 5070 Ti Super in there. A little too long for that. But I think there could be room. There could be room. Well, we might try it. We might try it and see. And you could put drives in here. Right now I've got a 250 gig SSD as the main drive, and then a terabyte SSD as the second drive. Both of those are M.2s, so they're mounting on the motherboard. No weight to them at all, but we could put some hard drives in here. Or we could, yeah, I don't think a 1X slot would run an M.2 array, but you might be able to put one M.2 in there. No, maybe not. Maybe not. I've got one over there in my rig. So yeah. So cool little cucumber. We'll be getting this up on our website when we have a website again one day. Yeah. All right, so let's see. Let's flip over to the post show, and we'll look at your comments. So we'll do the outro. Thank you, Martin. Okay. The official streaming idiots. Idiots. Yeah, I think in the, maybe that's what Bill's talking about. In this shot, where is it? Right here. This shot right here. One of these words is spelled incorrectly. And this was actually a gift from Paul at PTT Optics, and said he just couldn't help but put a little something in there. So perhaps that's what Bill is referring to. Idiots. Yeah, I don't see it right now, but I did notice it at one point. So there, yeah. You never know. You never know. So yeah, so if you missed it before, that is the website, smartdirector.framer.website. Lower cost way to put a website up, but his is up and mine isn't. Hello, Jesper. Glad to have you. Can I drop last year's video as a link in the chat? You mean on the other switcher? I probably could. Let me Google it real quick. Well, let me just go to YouTube and ask YouTube. YouTube is going to be vMix just doing a search for vMix Director Audio and see if I get it. Yeah, there we go. Switch cameras in vMix by audio, virtual video director. So let's share, copy, and we'll put it right here in chat. There you go. And there it is. Yeah, so, or you can be like me and just do a search in YouTube for vMix Director Audio, and eventually you'll get the show. No biggie. All right. Gunner's here. Welcome, sir. Glad to have you. Otis says, so in a UMC 404 HD, how would you separate the audio camera switch? Well, Otis, I'm glad you asked that question. One of the benefits of the Behringer UMC 404 HD and things like the Focusrite, Scarlett Focusrite, and other things that are not mixers but are audio interfaces is that generally they have a driver, like an ASIO driver, that would allow you to bring in each microphone as its own separate audio input. And the UMC 404 HD has 4 mics, has the ability to take in 4 XLR or quarter-inch audio devices. And so if you had a studio where you had up to 4 people and 4 cameras, or talk about something about PTZs in just a second, then you could assign each mic to a camera, and when that mic was active, it would switch to that camera. Now, both the SmartMix and the, what was the other one? Golly, I had it just a second ago. Anyway, the other one that I just posted the link about. Both of those allow you to use PTZs based on your, and it's going to take vMix 4K or Pro to do that, because they're the ones that would allow you to move the camera based on an input in vMix. That is, you can put a configurable, you can put essentially a virtual input that will tell the camera to move to a particular direction that you've predefined. I mean, a particular location. And you can use the software to do that, and you can use both these softwares to do that, and you can build in enough of a buffer or a delay before switching to allow the camera to move to its position from guest number 1 to position to guest number 2, and then switch to that camera. And obviously it's a little tricky if guest 1 and 2 are talking back and forth. You don't want the camera moving back and forth. So there's some delays you can build into that as well. And it's, is it artificial intelligence? Not really. Not really. It's just doing what you've told it to do. But you didn't know how to tell it to do, so somebody else did. So, yeah. So Otis says, so I guess an in-person roundtable, running an audio cable to each camera, bring in both audio input and camera input into vMix automatically. No, you don't. You can bring in the audio separately. You can bring in all 4 channels of audio and all 4 video inputs separately. And then in the software is where you sort of tie them together. You said that microphone goes with that camera, that mic goes with that camera, et cetera, et cetera. Yes. Unfortunately, during the show, I generally don't look at the chat, generally. But then I realized, why am I looking at this, at this little guy right here? Why am I looking at him in the preview and not the output? So, yeah. And count your blessings, Tim. I mean, really. And Dave, we have to have a talk. Of course there was something to see. Actually, I was using vmixcall.com. If I'd used advancedvmixcall.com, I could have flipped my camera. But I did. Who thought they were going to need it? And reset it. That's right. That's right. Hello, Edward. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. All right. What do we got going on here? Barbados. Hey, Tom, have you tried Windows 10 Enterprise LTSC? Seems to more for people who do not like all that bloatware. Never heard of it. I'll have to look it up. There you go. And late you are. And late you are. One of the things I find the same thing happens with me, Michael, is I want to watch the vMix Funtime live show, but I also want to watch the pre-show, because that's where sometimes the good things are, and definitely the post-show. But the recorded video that gets uploaded to YouTube later doesn't include the pre-show or the post-show. So I will take the little DVR thing and just roll it back to the beginning of the show and then run the show at about 1.5 speed. And that way I catch up eventually. And they sound like chipmunks a little bit, but YouTube does a good job of kind of preventing that. But I do catch up. So there we go. Long-term service channel. Huh. Never heard such a thing. No bloatware. Michael has used Rufus to load Windows 11 to a Windows 10 system that's not officially Windows 11 capable. Cool. I've had great results, mostly with clients that, bought systems from me 4 or 5 years ago, in basically going in and updating the BIOS, turning on a couple things in the BIOS like the TPM and something else, maybe a secure boot, something like that, and getting it to update. I did it for a very good customer last Friday. Was it Friday? No, it was Monday. We did it Monday, and it updated beautifully, and didn't take long at all. No, it's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so let's see. Can I do this? No, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. There we go. So you can see my desktop today. It's a mess. It's always a mess. Because I've always got some project going that's so exciting. I just can't, I have to push everything else aside in order to do that. I try not to, but sometimes I end up doing it that way. So there it goes. That is the way it goes sometimes. Yes, indeedy. So, let's see. Regarding vMix, I don't expect we'll see any new features unlocked in version 29. I think the hamsters at vMix are working hard on choosing features for 30. So we might get some hints on that at some point. But it would be interesting to see what they put into 30. I'm hoping at some point they're going to put in a green room feature, so you don't have to build your own green room. I'd like to see that. I put that in the feature request section in vMix, or I agreed to somebody else's or something. I think there are a couple of requests for it. But I think that would, for folks that do, it's a perfect companion to vMix Call and Zoom now. Yeah. He's late. He has a good reason. He saw the whole show, though. All right. So did you have me on 2.0 speed because I speak so slowly? Remember one of the first years of doing, it was probably back in the VidBlaster Guy days. I got a critical review on Facebook that said, "You speak too slowly. I have to watch too long to find out what I need to know." And I realized he was using me as a tutorial, and I wasn't moving fast enough for him. YouTube does have 1.5. I think it may even be more than that these days. Let's see. Let's find a YouTube channel. Any channel, it doesn't matter. And we'll mute the audio, and we'll pause it, and we'll go here, and we'll go to playback speed. Yeah, playback speed goes all the way up to 4. So you can really juice it if you want to catch up in a hurry. So there, yeah. It's funny, sometimes when I'm watching a video from Tim at vMix, I will slow it down to like 0.75 or something like that. Sometimes he talks a little, maybe he's a coffee drinker and just, is doing it in the closet. I don't know. But it's nice to be able to adjust the speed to the need. I like that. Just the right speed. You are so sweet. Thank you. Appreciate that. My brother is actually in your fair country today. I think he's leaving tomorrow. No, he's actually up in Edinburgh, in Scotland. I take that back. My nephew is graduating with a master's degree in environmental sciences from Edinburgh University of, maybe? Don't know. Real proud of him, though. Although with the interest in climate change fading, he may not have great job prospects. We'll see. We will see. Well, gents, we're going to wrap it up for today so that we can find the stuff for this guy and get him all put back together. And I may do a video card upgrade on that just to see how it might be. Heck, we've got the technology. Let's do a video card upgrade right here and now. Can we do that? Do we have a camera for that? I think we have a camera for that. Let's see. Add input, NDI. Oh yeah, we do. We already have the camera. There it is. So let's go live with that camera, and then we can swing it around here. Can we swing it around here? Oops, wrong way. That's a good shot. Almost. Okay, let me grab a screwdriver and get a suitable graphics card. What have we got on the shelf here? That one's too big. That one might work. Let's see. It's a 4060 Ti, which I think is about the same size as a 4050 Ti. So, and feel free to talk amongst yourselves or find another channel to watch. We can, don't want to lose these screws, heaven forbid. So can we, let's close that call. Yeah, there we go. So we'll put our screws down there. And we'll take that plate off there. And we'll take that. One of the benefits to this 3050, I don't know if that's why I selected it, but certainly it was a benefit, is it doesn't need a power source from the motherboard. So, well, can we get that guy down? There we go. There we go. We'll get that little guy out. I do like that the new fans have these little ridges on them that's supposed to help promote better airflow. So we'll see. This guy has not been opened before. So let's open him up. You want to give somebody a Christmas present? This is the best Christmas present in the world right here. Little teeny razor knife. I carry it in my pocket always, except when I'm flying, of course. And I can't wait to give one to my grandsons one day. All right, so Asus, there's the card. Get that out of the way. Go, and we don't need to peel anything off, but we do need to take that off. So let's see, is that going to fit? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Fits right in. With still beaucoup room to spare. It does require power supply, but we've got, I mean, power from the power supply, but we've got several open ports right there. And we could even go longer. What else have I got around here? This is longer, but this might be too long. Let's see. We'll try it. This is just an old 2080 Ti that I need to probably sell as not working because I think it's way out of warranty. Get that guy out of the way, and we'll try this guy. Again, full-size card. Not real tall, not real wide, but deep. Deep and wide. Let's see if we can get those cables to pop up out of the way a little bit. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just do it the easy way and pull those cables out altogether. And if we were doing this for real, we could get them squirreled away somewhere proper. But for now, we'll just get them out of the way. That's the slot. Boom. And it just gets around the power supply right there. And that would take 2 cables on it. But hey, that's a 2080 Ti. If we weren't planning on using this X1 port, we could probably put the 50 in there. But I'm using it right now, so that wouldn't work. So hey, so if you're working with a 2080 Ti and you want to put it in a case like this, this is a Mechanic Master. I think it's called a C34. So yeah, there's that. There we go. Ed, you're making an assumption there. Ah, do tell. A new show. Like it. Very good. Very good. Just like Black Friday all over again. That's right. I didn't lose my 1X slot. Yeah, I didn't lose it with the 2080 Ti. So we'll see. Does the case have an option to fit a screen on the other side of it? By screen, you mean a monitor, not a screen that allows air through. You would have to modify it. You would have to modify it. But let me get the dimensions on it. Hold on. I've got a ruler right here. You'll probably want them in centimeters. but I'll give it to you both ways. So lengthwise, it's 13 1/4 or just under 34 centimeters. Height-wise, it's 28 centimeters and about 11 inches. And then diagonally, it's going to be 17 inches or about 43.5 centimeters. So 17, so you could put a 15-inch monitor on there, maybe strip it out of its case somehow, and screw it up on there. Let me flip over to the other. Oh, let's get this card out first. I was going to say I'll flip it over and show you the other side. It's like a party here, like a Tupperware party, except for gear. So this is the other side of the case, screwed on with the same screws as the front side, and then this is just a metal panel that has nice CNC cutouts and a little screen behind it to keep creatures out. But once you pull it off, it's just the back of the CPU, the back of the PC. So you could probably mount something to this and then screw it on there. You know, maybe a little 10-inch monitor or something like that. I don't know. You could go larger, probably. Do I have a larger something around here to show? No, not really. And you could route. Yeah, you'd have to route the video out. Probably. Well, no. Yeah, you'd have to route it externally. I would say, you know, on the vMix Go's, they had the video attached to the video card, so it would kind of come out the back and then duck back in and then go through the PC to the built-in monitor. But I bet it wouldn't take much to add some brackets here that kind of curved up like that and held the monitor in. Vulnerable spot though, but there you go. Yeah, no problem. The 4000 series, plenty of room, and you're not stealing anything from. You're not stealing any lanes by doing that, because it's 16 lanes for the first slot, 1 lane for the second slot, and 4 lanes for the last slot. Yes. I actually bought a vintage vMix Go and refurbed it, put in an i9 and a new power supply and big graphics card and a cooler. In fact, that's what's running the graphics on this little guy right there. Yep. All right, so let's see here. Well, let's get this guy out of the way. Oh, now that we're taking him all apart again. 40 series. Well, let's compare the 40 series to the 30 series, just for grins. So the 30 series is definitely skinnier No doubt about that. Probably 10 millimeters-ish, half an inch-ish smaller. I'll put this guy back in and just check, Dave, because that was a good question. This guy looks a little wider than the 2080, frankly. And the answer is the X1 slot disappears. No X1 available. I mean, it is completely disappeared. I guess you could do some sort of crazy cabling and mount something somewhere else, but I don't think it'd be worth it. But I will say my intention for this system was didn't necessarily include the X1. It was just sort of an option. Yep. Good to know. Good question, Dave. Why ask why? That's what I say. If you have to ask a question and you don't already know the answer to it, you're on thin ice. Oh, there we go. Trying to pull something out without breaking everything is always one of my challenges. There we go. Put that back in. Set that back aside. Yeah, baby. Cool, Joel. Maybe a 3060 Ti? Yeah, maybe. 3060 to have rebar? Maybe. I don't remember. I thought it was a 40 series, but that may have been AV1. You know, it's funny the things that you remember and don't remember. 3060 Ti. Do I have one of those somewhere? I'm wondering if I've got one in a machine somewhere. Probably not. I don't think I'm doing, other than what I'm doing with this machine in the 3050. And sometimes we'll build some light end equipment that we'll use a 3050 for. But kind of my go-to, the mid-range, is the 5060 Ti 16 gig version. And that seems to hit the sweet spot. All right, you guys don't really care about watching me put this together. You're just hoping I drop something. I know. So I'm going to call it quits and go back to the real stuff. Been a treat to hang out with you today. Thank you. Aha. I'll fire this guy up and check, Dave. Thanks for asking. And I will check all of you guys. Won't be here next week. We're taking Thanksgiving off, but we'll be here the week after that. And we'll have some more cool stuff. Maybe. I mean, does anybody really know? Thanks for watching.